to this sort of metaphysics of music, but he clearly also thinks that if we're sitting there and like thinking about I often do this now, which I hate, but like trying to like figure out what chord the musicians are playing. I don't know if Jonathan, you do this kind of stupid shit, but it ruins the like experience mostly because it puts you in your head and it makes you like thinking about concepts and things like that. So clearly he wants to say that like we can do that, but we sort of stop being in the music for itself, and even lyrical music is going to do this to some degree. Like the lyrics need to fit with the music somehow. I mean, that can go in a lot of different ways. You can have like a really upbeat song with really dark lyrics, right? Like I can't think of off the top of my head a band that does that, but there's like maybe like Radiohead or I don't know, something like that.
Fish.
Yeah. And that creates its own contrast, but usually like an upbeat song has upbeat lyrics or something like that. And Schopenhauer wants to say that ultimately the music in that case is the secret behind the lyrics. It's the immediate, complete expression. Music allows for this type of detachment and disinterestedness without sort of artificially achieving it by going through concepts. Yeah, Jen.
This sounds silly, but to what extent do you think feeling this way, like the ideas that Schopenhauer's coming up with, to what extent could this be just termed like a temperament? You know what I mean?
Of the man Schopenhauer himself having a certain...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or people that are like, yes, I agree, because I agree with a lot of this. But my whole life people just say, well, that's just your temperament. Or whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I don't know if Schopenhauer really is prepared to answer that fully. I mean, I definitely think that there are people who don't listen to music this way, right? And there's plenty of music that isn't metaphysical, and yeah, but at the same time, I feel that there is something unique about music that puts us in a state which, even if Schopenhauer hasn't totally accurately, properly identified it and defined it, he's like has his finger on the pulse of something that we need to grapple with, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah. Trisha.
So as we're talking about this, I just am curious what your thoughts are about music and the concept of shamanic journey, because in a lot of other traditions, music, doesn't kind of connect you and you're in your will and objectifying your will in this reality. It's this other reality, and so it's like the metaphysics of the metaphysics. Like, can you talk a little bit about that?
No, I mean, I think that that's exactly what he's trying to get at. I mean, he does say a number of different things, like it can connect us to the mineral and it can have this connection to the world of representation and things like that. But ultimately, yeah, he has a line that perfectly says this. The inexpressible depth of all music, by virtue of which it floats past us as a paradise quite
I just think
and yet eternally remote.
I'm thinking
and
that,
it's so easy to understand order and yet so inexplicable is due to the fact that it reproduces all of the emotions of our inner being, but entirely without reality and remote from its pain. So it opens this world that is completely and separate. It's almost, and this is why I likened it to
other ontological space or world. It's more like, no, music is structure, and I can see the structure, and I know many people that whenever they hear music, they could write, like my uncle is like that. Any music that you play for him, he could write it out. You listen to a minute and he just write it all out. Yeah. Even a big band piece, maybe not like a orchestral piece, like that's like 80 pieces. Yeah. But I know people that could do that. They have memory that is unbelievable. Like I've never experienced anything like it. And they can just see the music and it just kind of comes and then they just won't forget it for a certain amount of time.
Yeah. So I mean, Schopenhauer says something along this, and also there's a great quote from Bergson that touches on this. I mean, that we can enjoy music without thinking about it, but at the same time, it can also be the vehicle for appreciation of structure and number and these things on a level that even concepts, well, this is what Schopenhauer says, that even concepts can't touch. And like, we can comprehend number and magnitude in a way that is unique to music through that. And then Bergson says something like, Bach or Beethoven or whatever, I think he says Beethoven, one of his symphonies, like one of the most complicated and intricate structures and yet that humans can look at, within it, as it sort of is the most familiar and yet eternally remote reality. Does that?
Yeah, that helps.
Do you want to follow up? Or?
Yeah, no, I'm still pondering this because I think I've always been very captivated by the role of music in healing, the role of music in opening up these kind of states, and I just haven't thought about it in the way that Schopenhauer. I just haven't thought about it this way before, so it's just interesting to me.
Yeah, I would say, now I'm going off script of Schopenhauerian views, but the ancient Greek views on this, there's a Pythagorean Orphic tradition of music therapy. Pythagoras is supposed to have played melodies to his followers. If somebody became angry, he would play them these melodies to soothe their anger. If somebody's sad, he would play these melodies to whatever. So he had a kind of psychic doctoring that he administrated through music. On a physical level, two things are possible. One is that consonance relaxes us, and so does rhythm. We know that rhythm entrains a calm attitude. On the other hand, listening to really intense and dissonant music can have a therapeutic effect in a different way.